Morning, lovelies. How is everybody this morning? It's a windy, wet Wednesday with a wobble gob work test. Woo! Very, very exciting. Just thought I'd pop in this morning. So this week, what's it been like? Well, it's been a bit of an up and down week, really, to be honest. Ups have been the 52 stitches started last week. Really, really impressed with everybody's chain stitch, what everybody's been doing with that. I went to York and did a talk with the York Guild last night. I did a talk with Windsor and Maidenhead online, and tonight I'm doing one for Oxford. A lot of wobble gobbing has been going on. Started tidying my shed because the shed opens back up again this week. PhD on Friday. Emily Notman's coming on Saturday and Sunday. Still 2 places left if anybody fancies booking on that one. What else have I done? Oh, crikey, Riley. Wednesday, Thursday. Can't even remember. I know I was at work. Textiles. Yumo getting ready for coursework handing in, which is quite exciting. Friday. What did I do on Friday? I can't even remember. I'm going to have to check my diary. It's that much stuff. My menopausal brain is just not coping at all. We had the stitch and chat. That was it. Stitch and chat Friday morning, which was lovely. And then Fabricology, which was the Halifax Embroiderers Guild. We had our AGM on Friday evening. Excited about the challenge that we're going to be doing next year, which I'm sure I'll wobble gob about at some point. And then on Saturday I was in York. Sunday started the big tidy of the shed. It's taken 2 days to do, but it looks really, really good. A bit funny this morning. I had some bits and pieces that I just needed to get rid of and burn in. We have it's an old washing machine drum that we have as our fire pit. Bit windy this morning. Didn't appreciate the fact that wind blows flames in different directions, and I had thought I'd singed all my hair off, but I haven't, thank goodness. But it made me think about when I was at school. We were doing food tech. And I can remember the teacher was showing us how to light the gas oven. So we had an electric oven at home, so not many of us knew how to use gas. And I think she'd got it ready for cooking, and she opened the oven door and it wasn't lit. So she just pressed the igniter. And when she stood up, it looked like her head was just covered in cobwebs. She just singed all the front. She lost her eyebrows, eyelashes, everything. Obviously we were like 12 years old and just thought like it was a Halloween thing and was quite funny. Now when you look back you think, oh god, that's a bit serious. Anyway, that was that. And then this week I've been at work, and yesterday went to do standardisation on A level, which was exciting. And then I've started my project, which I'm doing. This is my little stitch along. So my little basket. It was a little hamper somebody was throwing away that they'd got Christmas things in. Thought, you're not throwing that away, that's kind of cute. So I'm keeping my little dress in here, and I've got in all my bits and pieces. So I've got my sewing stuff, my threads. It just means then I can take that with me when I'm out and about. So I made a start on this last week. So I just thought what I'm going to do is I'll just carry on stitching on it and I'll just chunter away. So this is it so far. So I think last time I spoke to everybody I pinned all the bits on, and then I've just been stitching little bits and pieces on there. Don't know why the light's not very bright. No. Down. On. Right, let's pull it down a bit. I think I'd got it. It was too bright yesterday. Is that a bit better? I think that's. I don't know why I'm taking my glasses off. Take my glasses off. Can't see anyway. So I've just been doing running stitch, and then because this was like a checkered piece of fabric, I did some cross stitch on there as well. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I was thinking about adding. I've got some really cute little bits of lace that I thought I might start adding. I don't really have a plan. Originally I was going to work on the front and the back, but I think I'm going to hang this up in our spare bedroom. I have some old night dresses that were my granddad's, and I got those hung up in there. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Right, we'll pin that on there. There's my pins. Oh, it's here. There we go. So, yeah, it's been a bit of a, I don't know what type of a week it's been this week. I've a few days where you just feel a bit meh. That's all you can describe it, just a bit meh. Not quite sure what's going on, but this morning Duncan decided to wake me up. I think it's 7:15. Decided to stick one of his claws up my nose, which I really did not appreciate. And because I don't work on a Wednesday, it's like I normally get up and crack on with stuff. And I was lying in bed, I thought, I could just go make myself a cup of tea and then come back to bed. I'm just, I don't know, not feeling, I don't know, I don't feel like ill or anything like that. I just think every so often, I think it's like that word I just used then, nah. It's the only thing you can use to describe, I just feel a bit nah, which isn't me really. And my mum used to have her saying, she was amazing, my mum. And when she was, if you've heard any of my talks, you know that my mum and dad split up when I was 19, and my mum ended up with, well, we didn't know it at the time, but she'd got ovarian cancer, and she'd had a hysterectomy a few years before. Sorry, I'm just looking for a thread. And it came, anyway, long story, it came back. So she had, well, from that moment on till, unfortunately, the day she passed away, she was battling it. She was a proper battler, my mum. She wasn't going anywhere. And she used to have a bit of a motto when she had her days where she got up and she was feeling a bit meh. She always used to do her hair, put some lipstick on, and wear a smile and just crack on with something just to distract you. And I sort of have that as my motto when I'm having my meh days. So I was lying in bed and I thought, right, come on, your mum would just say get out of bed. So out of bed, wash my hair, and I thought, right, I just need to crack on with stuff. I actually did some housework this morning. There's nobody in the house. Neve's off at college, Harriet's away, Robert's not back till tonight, and I thought, right, I've got the house to myself, which means I can tidy it, and while I'm in today, it's actually going to stay tidy. So did the bathroom, just straightened everywhere up, sorted washing out, tidied the kitchen, vacked round. That took me an hour, so I was full on it this morning. And then on my list, oh, I'm getting all in knots, was go finish my shed. So shot outside, finished my shed, and then came inside and I thought, oh, probably should get some breakfast. And normally I don't really, it's very rare I actually sit down and eat my breakfast. I usually make myself my breakfast, and then between now and lunchtime I just slowly eat it. And I thought, no, do you know what, Anne? Do you know what, Anne? You're going to sit down, you're going to make yourself a cuppa, and you're going to sit down and you might have a look at one of the online newspapers, see what's going on in the world, and you're actually going to sit and eat your breakfast at the breakfast table, seeing as though you've just tidied the table and taken everybody else's rubbish off the table. So I actually sat down and ate my breakfast, which was quite nice. So did that, nipped outside, burnt something. I don't know if that's like therapeutic. And yeah, so what time is it here next? 10:15. Look at all that. And it is true, you just crack on with something, and I do feel in my head, I feel a lot better. I think it's because I've got a bit more purpose. I've had a bit more purpose this morning. I also live by lists. So I have lists. I like a list because I feel like I've accomplished something when I cross it off. Even if it's just really little things, put it on a list. And I do feel those better. I think this is why I wanted something like this to do, which is, it's not mindless stitching, because you do have to think about what you're doing, but it's not, I don't know, it's just enjoying it, and it's not complicated. Well, I suppose you could make it as complicated as you wanted, but it's not really complicated. It's just a bit of stitch, and I just like the idea of just doing it and using up all my I'm saying using up all my stuff. I'm not going to use up all my stuff on this, obviously, because I'm only using small bits of fabric. But I think, like I said last week, the fabrics that I started off with were the Japanese fabrics that I bought, which I just bought them because I really liked them. There wasn't really a plan or a function or anything like that that I was going to use them for, and I just knew, because I had them sat in a pile on my worktop, because they just look pretty. And I think that's become my, like, alarm bells go off for certain things. If you think, oh, just leave them there because they look pretty, it's like, right, you need to use them. Next project, you need to use them. Mind you, having said that, I have a lot of things in my room that look pretty. I don't know, you just sort of immerse yourself in just the textile world. And I assume other hobbies are probably the same. You just got to immerse yourself in what's going on. But I just love old textile, anything to do with old textiles. So it's terrible when anybody comes to like fabricology and they're having a bit of a clear out. And there was somebody having a clear out the other day, and I just ended up getting loads of well, they're all these actually. There we go, hooks and eyes. I just love like the cards that they're on and everything. I think some of these will probably end up on this. Probably not the cards, but maybe the hooks and eyes. And I suppose it's just using things differently. So not using them as a hook and eye, using them as a little bit of a decorative element, as if like you were stitching a button on, or some beads or something like that. It's just made me realise as well, I have quite a lot of old threads lying around. So I probably should use some old threads in this as well. This is just a machine cotton that I'm just using. So yeah, so it's just, life's just going on. I've actually got, oh, a bit of blue sky. The weather here has been shocking. I don't think yesterday the rain stopped at all. Mind, I'm saying it's shocking here, it's probably been a lot worse elsewhere. But there's possible snow on the forecast as well. I don't mind snow. Well, I don't mind snow if it's proper snow, which sounds a bit daft, but you get that just grey slush going on. I'm not a big fan of grey slush, but proper white fluffy snow that you can go for nice walks in, and it's like when it's snowed and you've got lovely blue skies and it's frosty. I love a frosty morning. So I usually love going out and sort of taking photographs of the frost, but we've had a couple of days where there's been like ice on the car. Well, there was one day where on the front of my shed, it had, I don't know if it had frosted up on the inside or the outside, but they were like, it was as if spiders' webs had just all frozen on my glass doors on the shed. They looked so pretty, and I thought, oh, when I come back I'll take a photograph of them, totally forgetting that it's south facing, so the second that the sun came round, even though it wasn't very warm, it all just disappeared. So I should know from that when you see something, photograph it. That's a little bit like when you go to a show. If you see something, buy it, because you can pretty much guarantee that when you come back it won't be there. I think I'm going to have to pop on one of my gloves. My hand's just aching a little bit. What have I done with them? Oh, there it is. Oh, I get cramp a little bit in my hands when I'm holding them just in a certain position. These are those like arthritis pressure gloves, and just having that constant pressure on your hand, it just makes a massive difference. All these ailments. I don't know. I was perfectly fine and fit and healthy until I hit 40. And then it wasn't like, not like that I'm not fit and healthy or anything like that. It was, I've suffered from carpal tunnel and it got really, really bad. So I ended up, first of all, I had my left hand done. And because it was all my fingers, I ended up, you have your wrist and your elbow operated on, which wasn't the most pleasant experience, but touch wood, it sorted it out. And then the following year, I had my right hand done. But I still find, even though I don't get the tingling and stuff like that in my fingers, it's just, I think it's because you're holding your hand in that position and it narrows your carpal tunnel. So it just means I can carry on stitching, which is what it's all about. Right, I'm going to put some more thread. I do love the backs of pieces of work, so this won't get covered up or anything, because I just think it sort of tells, I've probably said this loads of times, it tells like an unconscious hidden story of stitch. I've often wondered sometimes about making a piece of work and then showing the wrong side of it. I've lost my thread now. Oh, there we go. Oh no, I'm getting to the end of the bobbin. Yeah, doing the wrong side. I remember there was, I think it's when I first started teaching, I got told this story down at the Royal Academy of Art when there's the open art show. I don't know if they still do it. People used to be able to enter artwork, and basically there were the judges sat in rows, from what I heard, this might be wrong, and the people in the gallery would walk across with the pieces of work and they'd go yes and no, yes and no. And there was, on the back of the piece of work was always the label with the artist's name on and the title of the piece and stuff like that. And one year somebody did a painting of the back of a piece of work. So it was just like as if like they'd painted whatever was on the back of the canvas and then painted the label. That's kind of genius. I don't know if it got entered or got accepted, but I just thought, oh, it's the bit sometimes that you just don't see. It's one of the things when you're trying clothes on, you never look at it from the back. And it's one of the things with my wedding dress. It's one of the reasons why I chose the dress that I did, because it was all corseted down the back with all laced up. And it was one of the things that's like, actually when you're in church, everybody does see your back. It's one of the funny things when we went shopping with Robert's mum for an outfit for Robert's brother's wedding. And I can just remember when we were in the changing rooms, we just kept saying, oh, looks lovely from the back. Yeah, Robert's mum did get a little bit miffed that we never said anything looked nice from the front. Became a bit of a standing joke, that one. So I hope you're all well. Enough about me. Hope you've had a good week. Hope your week hasn't been very meh. Hope you've done something. It doesn't have to be productive, but just something. Maybe a bit of stitching, or you've been somewhere. I know people are getting out and about now, so you might have even been on holiday, maybe. I know people like to go away in January. Just get rid of those blues. We went to Whitby on Boxing Day, which was lovely. I love the East Yorkshire coast. It's one of my favourite places to go. Just go and blow away the cobwebs. I think that's probably what I need. maybe just, I'm going to have to get out maybe for an hour today. Whereas normally on a Wednesday I'd just be sat here working all day. Maybe get outside. It's quite nice that there is a bit of blue sky. It's definitely windy. The clouds are just flying by. Right, am I all the way around? There we go. Got that all tacked down. Oh, I'm glad I've used that. I've had that saved for ages and kept looking at different projects. It was like, oh no, you're not worthy. Not worthy. So I think one of the things that I'm possibly going to do, I was thinking about this yesterday, is do a little bit of a, maybe a little bit of a picot edge down the side, because I've wondered about doing little picots and then popping buttons down that side. It's got a lovely tie at the top, and then I thought, oh, does that mean then I have to do buttons all the way down? I don't know, but I quite like that. I think that's really pretty. But then I had got this lovely edge. I think I must have nicked the little dots, so take that off. I quite like that as well. So what I would tend to do if I was doing bits like this, if you chop a bit off, that will go on somewhere. There you go, it'll go on there. So when I'm doing a project like this, when I've stitched a little bit, I'll then work out and pin another section, so that's all ready to go the next time I come to pick it up. So I started doing this because I go and sit with Robert's mum on a Tuesday while his dad goes and does the shopping, and this has become my little project. I'm saying that that's when I'm going to do it. I end up doing it at different times as well. I don't know whether or not I might bring that in a little bit further up and then might start stitching at the top end. Maybe have that. Yeah, so let's have a look. We're going to work up here. There's my fabrics. Oh, because I found these bits. Love that. Absolutely love that little bit of fabric. I thought I'd found a bit more. There we go. Whoops. Ooh, that's cute. It's got to be yellow in it as well. Oh, look at that. That way or that way. Quite like that how it's already patched. Might just go with that. Right, let's work out where that needs to go. So I want that some little circles are going to go off the edge. How high up does that need to be? Just lift that camera up a little bit. It just hits my light. So let's work this out. I want it, yeah, so that's sort of in line with that. There we go. Perfect. Oh, that was meant to be. Definitely meant to be. There we go. Pin that on. Oh, you know you want to go in. There we go. So then I'll carry on stitching this week. Might have to might put a few more little bits on, just so then it's not that. And that did make sense then. I'm talking in not full sentences. I've got this bit, but I don't want to add that on as well, so that might end up going somewhere else. But I love those little squares. They're just so cute. Put that back in the basket. Pins. There we go. Pin, pin, pin. Oh, bent the pin. Didn't really know how strong I was. Get a different pin then. That's one of the things that I've noticed, because the edges are double, or they're sort of triple, because they're folded under and under. They were quite tricky to stitch. But persevere. Make sure you persevere. Right then, let's have a look. What fabrics have we got? So we're going a bit older at this side, so they're probably not the right colours. That was lovely. Really liked that one down there. There's a little bit of yellow in that as well. Where did I start cutting into it? This end. Will it rip? Oh, yummy. Love the sound of ripped fabric. I think I've mentioned that quite a few times. Now then, let's have a look. There we go, that way. Maybe just a small bit. Just overlap that corner. Try to end up pinning this through all the way through to the back. There we go. That on and that on. Do, do, do. There we go. That one of that one. What else have we got? Oh, we've got some other bits of lace. I don't think I want any more lace. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh, that's lovely. Ooh, stripes. We love a stripe. We get go down there. We'll maybe have this going the other way, going horizontal out. And I might leave it at that to start off with, so I'll go a bit longer. Because I think what's going to happen while I'm doing this, I'll probably end up coming back and covering bits up. It's one of the things I did find when I was having a rummage, was I had got I've got Suffolk puffs as well, which I might put on. I've just realised that I'm just using the microphone for my webcam, so I hope this works. Normally I have a microphone that I have on, so I'm really hoping that this works now, seeing as though I've just recorded it all. If it hasn't, that is going to be incredibly annoying, because you can't really have Wobble Gob on silent. So I really, really hope this has worked, otherwise I'll have to do another one and I shan't be very happy, and then that'll mean that my good mood that I've finally got myself into is going to disappear quite quickly. If you hear a scream, you know, about 10:30ish, you know that I discovered that it hadn't recorded properly. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that for this week. So there we are, that's my bit that I'm doing at the moment, a little dress. Looking forward to stitching all this. I might actually quite like that Suffolk puff there. No, don't put it on yet. No, we're not going for it yet. So, yeah, Wobble Gob, episode 2. A weird week today. This week. Been a bit up and down. Good things, meh things. Done hair, got lipstick on, doing something. Takes your mind off it. I do feel a bit better. I've got a cup of tea, so I'm just going to crack on. It's very tempting as well just to carry on stitching this, but I've got other stuff that I've got to get done. So I will see you possibly next week in episode 3. Mwah! Love, hugs, kisses.